TSL theme for this year is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And the theme for the month of June is the soul's call. This morning we have the great privilege of hearing Reverend Judy's talk on what's evolution without love? What's evolution without love? It's my pleasure to invite Reverend Judy up to the stage for this beautiful talk.
Thank you. Oh, you got it? Oh. Had to help myself. I'm sorry, I forgot. Forgot you were going to help me. I'll do it all myself. Good morning. There are so many people I haven't seen for a year or more, and I'm so excited, so happy that you're here this morning. Let's get started. So, just as Reverend Carla said, it's been 6 months since we started our global theme, Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. So I thought maybe you might need a little refresher on what that means so we can, for the next 6 months, remember it. So, timeless wisdom is something unaffected or unchanged by time. It's ageless and it's eternal. Ultimate wisdom is the spiritual sense that the realization of absolute reality in the state of infinite consciousness. So since this realization transcends time, it is eternal and it is timeless. Absolute reality is one and indivisible, beyond name, beyond form, not limited by space or time, and it's unchangeable. And it is experienced by all beings everywhere. Timeless wisdom in the science of mind principle means oneness, freedom, and love. And Chelsea, that song, every word you felt, it made me tear up. That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. It was perfect. So there's one infinite reality. We call it by many names, including and not limited to God, life, universal presence, first cause, divine intelligence, or simply the thing itself. The one infinite reality is undivided, complete, and whole within itself. Therefore, it includes both the absolute and the relative, the tangible and the intangible, the physical and the metaphysical, all aspects of reality. Freedom is the birthright of every individual. We are free to choose and create our life experience. We know that, and we do it, don't we? Love is the self-givingness of universal spirit through the desire to express itself in terms of creation. Love is the impulse, and the law is the way of creation. One who is the Tao says, one who is worldly wise knows others. One truly wise knows oneself. In the Gospel of Thomas, it says this: Jesus said, the kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you also. You will discover this if you will come to know yourself. And then you will realize that you are all children of the living God. But if you do not know who you are, you live in poverty, and you are that poverty. The Buddha said, look within. You are the Buddha. In Psalms 46, it says, be still. Know that I am God. So timeless wisdom is truth. And truth and awareness is what we all are, and we are all one in God. We are all individual expressions of this divine energy. And it's the only thing in the universe that is unchangeable, is this truth. It's the only thing. Everything else changes. Everything else grows and expands. God is unchangeable. So we need to accept this evolution in our life and move forward. So the second part of the global theme is evolutionary vision. So we see or envision humanity as awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought and a world where every person discovers their own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within the power to bless everyone, every single being. That is the evolutionary vision. So timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. And for the month of June, it is the soul's call. Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." I see some heads nodding on that one. Look inside. The soul's call is a deeply intimate, challenging, powerful, and globally beneficial work that we are all invited to do on a daily basis. It is globally beneficial because when one of us awakens, it affects and evolves the global consciousness. So it all begins with us. We are it. We awaken, and then that awakens the global consciousness. It's easy to talk the talk about love, but it's more challenging to love our neighbor as ourselves. The evolutionary leap of this radical love calls us to reach out and to love one another, no matter what. Sometimes that's very hard. This is the beloved community in action when we love one another. The soul's calls is what brings you happiness. It brings you bliss. It brings you fulfillment, and it brings you freedom. Thich Nhat Hanh says, mindfulness is above all the capacity simply to recognize the presence of an object without taking sides. Wow, how many of us can do that? I am not one of them. I have to do a little side here. I can remember the first time I heard Michael Beckwith speak, and it was many, many years ago, and he said, "We cannot judge." And I went, are you kidding? And what do you mean we cannot judge? He goes, no. And I said, well, opinions, we can have opinions, yes, yes. No opinions, only an observation. So since that time, my mom and I have been going, oh, I'm just observing this. I'm just observing this. So Thich Nhat Hanh says we have to, in the presence of an object, without taking sides, without judging, without craving or despising that object. And that object could be another person, it could be a situation that you're in, or it could be a thing. We cannot judge it. So what's your soul calling to you to do? What's your soul calling to you to be? My today's topic, as Reverend Carla said, was, what's evolution without love? Without love, evolution is a spiritual path of apathy and a lack of energy and enthusiasm. The key word to remember in all of this is to love, to evolve. There must be love. So I want to tell you that God does have a sense of humor. You know, I've told you in the past that when it's my time to do a talk here, that I get the topic and then I open my mind, I pray and I meditate on it, and I wait for the universal presence of divine energy to download to me. Tell me what to say. Give me some inspiration. I always do that. So I'm going through this, what's evolution without love? And I got nothing for a month. Nothing. I'm going, what's going on here? It didn't work for me. What's evolution without love? It was kind of backwards. So I changed my mind. And that's what we all can do. I changed it to what's evolution without love to a evolution through love. Okay? So as soon as I did that, yes. So as soon as I did that, I did it again. Okay, give me my inspiration. Tell me what I'm going to talk about here this morning. I need to know. Well, God decided that the time to tell me was at 2:30 in the morning. 4 days in a row, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, awake till 4:45, and my mind's going zzz, buzzing, that buzz. So I said, all right, fine. So finally on the fourth day, I said, this is not funny anymore, God. Can't you download to me during the waking hours? And then I heard God laugh. And so I laughed right along with it. So I laughed right along. So I got my download, and then I went to my bookshelf, and I thought, well, what book's going to, what book do I need to read to, inspire me also? So I'm going along, and this little book said, pick me, pick me, pick me. So I did, and it was just this brown book, and I thought, I wonder what. So 50 Truths Worth Knowing. And I open it up on the inside of the page. Like, this gives me God bumps. Dated February 15th, 2009. Presented to Reverend Judy Chapman upon the occasion of your ordination. Should you ever lack for inspiration when preparing for a talk, perhaps this little book will inspire you, and seeking, you could be, I might have my glasses on. Could inspire what you are seeking and could be found in one of these short stories. Love, the Centers for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley Board of Trustees. So if that wasn't a sign, So I started reading through these, and I thought, well, yes, that's very good, but I have my own stories to tell. I like telling my own stories. Okay. Evolution means development, growth, expansion, progress, rising up, and unfolding and advancement. And the vehicle for your evolution is love. That's what it is, just what Chelsea said. Love knows all, love heals all, and is always present. Evolution simply means change. And this weekend we have two celebrations. Yesterday was Juneteenth, which is June and the 19th put together. And I want to be very honest with you. I had not heard about Juneteenth until last year, and I'm quite ashamed of that because it's a 155-year-old holiday. And so I educated myself, and I found a short video that I'm going to show to you because I think we all need to know exactly what Juneteenth means and what it means to us in our evolution as humankind. So let's watch that video.
My My name is Marcia Chatlin. I'm a professor of history and African American studies at Georgetown University. I'm a historian of African American life and culture. Juneteenth is a commemoration holiday of June 19th, 1865, when a group of African Americans in Galveston, Texas, received the news that they indeed were free. President Lincoln had signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, but news of the end of slavery in Texas had not traveled to this community until 1865. Since then, Juneteenth has been a day of commemoration of the struggle against slavery and a celebration of freedom. One of the biggest misconceptions about Juneteenth is that people often think that was the day that slavery ended in the United States. But in fact, the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States, was passed in the Senate on April 8th, 1864, and the House on January 31st, 1865. Although Juneteenth celebrates the knowledge that slavery had ended, it's important to remember that the conditions that mirrored slavery, whether it was Jim Crow or the suppression of civil rights or continued struggles to fight racism, those continued long after the end of slavery. And so the Juneteenth holiday reminds us of where we've come, and it also inspires us to think about the places we want to go. As African Americans left the South to pursue opportunities throughout the 20th century in northern and western cities, the celebration of Juneteenth moved from being a Texas-based celebration to a national one, in which people gathered with families and friends and community to remember the incredible struggle of a people against slavery and to create new traditions that allowed them to reflect about the struggle for civil rights and the ongoing struggle against racism. Although slavery was abolished in 1865, the fight for civil rights has continued to the present day. So Juneteenth provides people with a sense of encouragement and inspiration to continue to fight on behalf of their community and their families for freedom. And it also is a holiday that, as it continues to become more and more popular, it allows people to look back at the past and encourages them to learn more about African American history. As more and more institutions recognize Juneteenth and work to commemorate the incredible legacy of slavery in the United States, I hope Juneteenth becomes a day where people commit not only to acts of justice in their local community, but to investigate history in a more deep and thoughtful way.
Oh, yeah, I might need that. Thank you. So I feel a little bit better now that I know what it's all about, and I'm not so ashamed of myself, because here at this center, we practice diversity and inclusiveness, and we honor that in each and every person. Everyone is welcome here. The other holiday we're celebrating is Father's Day today. And Father's Day is actually an evolution through love. It is a holiday honoring fatherhood and parental bonds, as well as the influence of fathers in society. In the Catholic countries of Europe, it has been celebrated on March 19th, and it's called St. Joseph's Day since the Middle Ages. In the United States, Father's Day was founded by Sonora Smart Dodd and was celebrated on the third Sunday of June for the first time in 1910. The day is held on various dates across the world and in different regions, and they maintain their own traditions of honoring fatherhood. So here's a little background on the founder. Father's Day was founded in Spokane, Washington at the YMCA in 1910 by Sonora Smart Dodd, who was born in Arkansas. Sonia was the daughter of an American Civil War veteran, William Jackson Smart. And when she was 16 years old, her mother died and left her father to raise her and her 5 younger brothers. While listening to a Mother's Day sermon with her father at the Methodist Church in 1909, Sonora was bothered that there was not a day to honor her father. Because of her deep love and respect for her dad, 111 years ago, we now celebrate and honor all fathers. This was truly a soul's call and an evolution in global consciousness created by love. Dave Freeman posted this last week on Facebook, and I just loved this quote by Howard Thurman. He says, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, and go do it. Because the world needs is people who come alive. We need to live our lives out loud. We need to express this divine energy that is within each one of us. We evolve personally and globally when we wake up. Wake up. The evolution of my path started with my mom and dad. They taught me gracious giving and caring through their actions. My mom, whose birthday's this weekend, is 97 years old. Yay, Mom. My mom has been a member of the Assistance League of Capistrano Valley since 1977. She worked at the Bargain Box, which is the thrift store downtown San Clemente, for 20 years in the back room, tagging and washing. She would take the clothes home, wash them, sew them, put them back out on. And then that Bargain Box provides clothing and clothes for the children. It was from San Juan. And now they provide kids for the base, everything. That's such a wonderful, wonderful project. So she did that. And then she was also on the ground floor of Human Options, which is a place for battered women and children. And my mom and dad used to go and pick up donations and take them back to that. And she was involved with that for many, many years. There's so many other things, but those are the two things that stand out in my mind about my mom. My dad always shared what he had with people less fortunate. My mom tells me this story. When I was little, my dad drove an Army Jeep, no top, an old Army Jeep, and he drove from Azusa to Irwindale where he had his shop. And in the rain, didn't matter what it was. My mom tells me a story that he picked up a hitchhiker one time and gave him his coat, his only coat that he had, because the man needed it and it was raining. He always is giving. He gave without end. And he gave to this community too. That tradition continued through me and through my daughters. My daughter Carrie owns Grindstone Compound, and it's a place where she trains boys from 12, there's a couple girls in there, 12 years old to 20-year-old to ride motocross. And she's been doing that for 15 years. And she sponsors so many kids. I told her the other day, I said, that's going to be a financial burden on you. She says, Mom, she told me this last week, I'm just following in your steps. Giving. And then I have, and she is the mother and the emotional counselor for all these kids, that they live there with her. And Yeah, it's really pretty remarkable. My daughter Julie is here visiting me with her wife Wendy. And my daughter Julie is the vice president of the PTA where Xander, my grandson, goes to school. She is also involved in a project that says Adopt Disabled Seniors, where you have a consistent, you visit them consistently, and she signed up for that, and she does that. She's always giving, always giving. She creates fundraisers for the school, and she's always doing something for him. And then you go down to Xander, her son. He signed up for a class that they rebuilt bicycles. They took old parts and they built bicycles and they gave them to the homeless and the people in need. So I'm glad to see that the evolution of gracious giving came and it follows down and it goes through and it will continue throughout our creation. It's the evolution of compassion, the evolution of caring, and giving continues to flow through love. And it raises the global consciousness when we do that. So now I want to share with you the evolution of this spiritual center. Most of you know this history, but a little reminder. In the sleepy little beach town of San Clemente in 1968, the Reverend Gretchen Bremerman founded the first Church of Religious Science of San Clemente, which was later to be called the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. The journey from San Clemente to San Juan Capistrano and then back here to San Clemente is a story of evolution through love. Reverends Leslie and Jackie Harold became the church's new ministers in 1973. And then Dr. Jackie got her doctorate in that time. Dr. Jackie continued until 1999. In the spring of 1999, Dr. Jackie in the spring of 1989, I'm glad that Deborah and Otto are here because this has to do with you. Dr. Jackie introduced Adventures in Faith to our congregation. And we did Adventures in Faith for like 15 or 16 years. And we met I was first the facilitator, we met at Deborah and Otto's home. And then we met at my mom's, then we met at Bill and Billy Hart's, and 15 years we did this. So, and that grew our spiritual community so much, this Adventure in Faith. It was wonderful. In 1999, Dr. Jackie retired, and the church went through the candidating process to select a new senior minister. I was on that committee then, as I am now. And I knew from my first meeting with Dr. Heather that here was someone I could trust and someone I really needed to learn a lot from. I knew that. I was already a practitioner when she came, and at that time, I wanted to take classes and glean what wisdom I could get from our new minister, Dr. Heather Clark. So I started ministerial classes. Not that I wanted to be a minister. I did not. I just wanted to have classes with Dr. Heather. So I did 2 years of classes, went through all that. It was time to take the test. Oh, all right, I'll take the test. Took the test, passed it. Took the orals, passed that. Then became a minister in 2003. But it was because I wanted to be with Dr. Heather. Dr. Heather taught and graduated over 40 ministers and has guided and produced well over 100 practitioners. What a gift. Such a gift of love. I can remember going to her many times saying, I'm just not cut out for this. too much in the past, too much stuff. No, just keep moving forward. You're evolving. You're evolving. It's all good. But she was my rock. She is my rock. So we had a vision when we were in San Juan Capistrano for our own building. So we began visioning and praying about creating the money for our new building. And one of the greatest demonstrations for our center was in 2012. We moved in to this beautiful sanctuary. 20,000 square feet, 29 offices upstairs, and this incredible sanctuary. It was really a fabulous and wonderful demonstration. Dr. Heather has been the spiritually grounded rock for us, and she will be greatly missed. We love you so much, Dr. Heather. You have brought so much for the past 22 years to this center. Yes, breathe. Thank you. Please stand so we can honor you. So our center, I don't even know what time it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm good. So our center is once again evolving, growing, and expanding. And it's doing it through love. And each one of us is growing and expanding and evolving through this love. We are each one listening to our soul's call and moving forward in faith and truth and love. I'm the chairperson for the new selection committee. I have 10 fabulous people that is a cross-section of our community on that committee to select the new minister. We have been meeting every Wednesday on Zoom since September. Every Wednesday since September. Last Wednesday was our last meeting. It was wonderful. Because we have done our part and we are presenting you with a new selection, a new senior minister for you to vote on, to select with. So I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for your part in this evolution of this center. And it's because of your love of this center that we move forward in love, we expand, we grow, and we accept it for the truth. And so it is. Thank you.
Speechless. Beautiful, Reverend Judy. Beautiful. It's my pleasure to welcome back to our stage the lovely Chelsea Van.
In honor of Father's Day, I'd like to dedicate this second song to all the fathers and father figures that are here and in our lives, and especially to my daddy. This day is special, yeah, it's just for you. I've got a song, so hear it through. I want to tell you that all around you there is nothing but love. Your heart is wise, your will is strong. Your love has kept us safe and warm. This bond between us can't be broken. I'm always here with love, 'cause you'll be in my heart. You're someone to trust, always kind and fair. You are so loved. I thought you should know. The world will be brighter 'cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. You'll be in my heart, no matter where you go. You'll be here in my heart, always, always. Just look there right beside you. Feel that love right inside you. Just look there right inside you. You're in my heart, always. I love you.
Chelsea Van, thank you. It is time for our offertory. This is an opportunity for us to give back to that which nourishes us, that which opens our hearts, that what feeds our souls. So I invite you to read along with me our offertory affirmation, if I can find it. Please read with me. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. So this morning we're going to take a moment.
Yeah, it's not fair to have to sing after my kid. Mostly because that one got to me this morning. But this song is called Grateful, right? Which I am, and I know we all are, for so much that we have. Because the ground holds up my feet, because the stars shine down on me, for all of this and so much more, I am grateful. Grateful, 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 grateful.
Thank you, Diane. That was beautiful. We'd like to take this moment to thank everybody, our phenomenal band. Let's give them a big hand. Our guest singer, Chelsea Van. Our sound booth, we have Derek and Mary Brogdon. On camera, we have Noir. Thank you, everybody. And right after service, we'd like to invite you to join us for coffee and conversation on Zoom, where you can speak to one of our practitioners and actually have a private session with them. Today's practitioners are Lori Ann Whitty, Patrick Freeman, and Anita Baroli. And I'd like to thank Reverend Judy for that talk that gave us not only so much history about love, about our center, about where we've began and where we are now. It's just was beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And now it's time for some invitations.
Well, happy Father's Day. And in honor of fathers everywhere, we bring you this dad bod and a collection of dad jokes.
You know, I'm so bright, my dad calls me son.
We invite you to join Mary Brogdon at Conscious Connection today at noon for a brief discussion about today's message. It's a hybrid get-together, and so it'll meet both here in the sanctuary and on Zoom, probably for the last time, but it will be on Zoom today.
You can get all of the Zoom meeting information from the center emails, but if you get an email from the center regarding canned meat, do not open it, it's spam.
Yeah. Somebody keeps sending me celery, and I don't know who it is.
Oh, it sounds like you might be being stalked.
You do not want to miss our next week's service. Our speaker will be one of our chosen candidates for the senior minister position, Reverend Alice Reed. Her message is The Soul's Call to Freedom. And after the service, you will have an opportunity to meet her and ask her any questions that you might have while enjoying a boxed lunch provided by the center.
Speaking of food, you know, I accidentally swallowed a bunch of Scrabble tiles. My next trip to the bathroom might spell disaster.
If you don't want to have a disaster or have to eat Scrabble tiles, please email or call in your RSVP to Mary Brogdon or Claudia Nelson and specify any food restrictions that you might have. After our time getting to know a little bit about Reverend Alice, she'll be gifting us with a workshop called Remembering Who You've Come Here to Be.
Well, people call me self-centered, but that's enough about them.
It's not about you. It's about Reverend Alice's workshop, where she'll guide us through some storytelling, principle, and practice to tap into our own individual greater yet to be. And childcare is provided.
Oh, that reminds me. I was once a man trapped in a woman's body, and then I was born.
Speaking of children, if you didn't already know, our youth program has resumed. The kids are meeting outdoors, weather permitting, so make sure they've got on plenty of sunscreen or wear protective clothing. In the case of rain, though, they'll meet indoors.
Do you think the kids in youth church are spoiled?
No, I think most kids just smell like that.
Oh. This Tuesday, June 29th from 6:30 to 8 p.m., I invite you to part 2 of Reverend Katz's workshop, I Can Do This Thing Called Wealth. If you'd like to expand your thinking about wealth, and who doesn't, the Zoom link is available in your weekly email.
Speaking of abundance, yesterday a traveling salesman tried to give me a deal on a coffin. I told him that's the last thing I'd need.
Of course, the other wonderful activities in our center continue to meet, including Book Study with Mary. Hey, you know, I'm reading a book right now about anti-gravity.
Is it good?
I can't put it down.
Shifting the subject, there's also Shifting Sands, Coming Home, Awakening to Spirit, and Happy Hour. More details are available in your weekly email or visit our website.
And now we have a special announcement.
Is it by Lance?
No, Lance is a name that we hardly ever use these days. But in medieval times, people were named Lance a lot.
But this announcement is brought to you by our very own board vice president, Carla Sharadas.
So the Board of Trustees and myself is pleased to present Reverend Alice Reed as the candidate for Senior Minister of the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. So as you so graciously invited everybody, I would like to do that so as well. She will be speaking this coming Sunday. Will you be here?
Yes.
Will you be here?
Yes.
Will you be here?
Yes.
So if you're a member, I cannot tell you how important it is that you attend next week's service and workshop to meet her. You're also going to have an opportunity to actually chit-chat with her right after her workshop and get to know her a little bit better. As a member, selecting a new minister is one of the most important things that you will ever do for our center. The ministers and the practitioners will be hosting a meet and greet luncheon with Reverend Alice on Friday, June 25th. The Board of Trustees and the Minister Search Committee will be meeting with and greeting with Reverend Alice on Saturday afternoon, June 26th. Reverend Alice is currently the senior minister at a center of the West Coast. She serves on the Center for Spiritual Living Leadership Council and is the council's treasurer. That means she's really smart. The process of searching for a new senior minister requires a certain level of confidentiality and structure. Candidates who hold positions elsewhere need this confidentiality until a certain milestone in the process has been met, as it has with Reverend Alice. So come next Sunday. This is a very, very exciting process. Thank you.
And a quick reminder for Father's Day, we have a little Father's Day treat of some barbecue sauce. So if you identify as a father or you know somebody who does identify as a father that you want to acknowledge, pick up some barbecue sauce on your way out. But for now, please stand and join us in our closing song. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, oh, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, oh, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? I give it to you.
We move forward this week and we evolve through love. And so it is.
So it is.